Good morning, boys and girls and Perry Panthers out there. I'd like to welcome you to our start of a new school year. Well, sorta, start of a school year that people are here in person at Perry Elementary for the first time in a long time, in about 10 months. So this is the first time we've actually had students in the building like we do today. So welcome all of you. We're excited to have you here finally back at Perry Elementary. I just wanted to review a couple of notes with you. So every day I'm going to be doing daily announcements like I have done in the past, in which we're going to go over some things about school that you probably need to know about. School's a little bit different now compared to when you left last March. So we need to kind of have a little review of what's happening here at school. So I wanted to review with you today things with arrival, specials, lunch, recess, and dismissal. So, boys and girls, if you're a kindergarten through third grader, today you're already here at school. So, congratulations. You did the first part of what I needed to talk to you about. So, if you are a fourth and fifth grader, you came in a little bit later than everybody else, and that's okay. That's a little bit different than what we've done in the past. It's called a staggered start. So we had kindergartner and third graders, kindergarten through third graders come in at 7:40, and our fourth and fifth graders came in at 7:45. And that's okay. That's great. You made it here. That's the first part of a wonderful day today. For our specials are probably more than what you probably a little bit different than what they had been before. So we're not going to PE, art, or music like we had done before. They will be all recordings like what you did during the time that you had remote learning. So those will be accessed during different times of each day. So you have 2 arts, 2 musics, and 2 PE scheduled times. Lunch and recess is a little bit different too because you'll be eating lunch within the classroom, and at recess, you'll have to wear your face covering during that time. I'll go through a little bit more about lunch and breakfast in just a little bit. Dismissal will be at 1:40, which is different than it was last year. It used to be 2:05. Now it is 1:40 for kindergarten through third grade, and for fourth and fifth, it's 1:45. You're going to be hearing some bells, and that'll be a different bell schedule than you probably haven't heard before also. So that's going to kind of alert us of what time that we need to be doing certain things, such as arrival, lunch, recess, and dismissal. Face coverings. You've been doing face coverings probably for a while, since the spring of last year. But I wanted to review that with school and how that would work. So if you have a face mask like this one, that is the approved face covering that you should have. If you have a neck gaiter, one that goes around your neck that comes up and down, that is not an appropriate face covering. Your teacher will give you another face covering for you to use if you brought in a neck gaiter. So with your face coverings, if you have glasses like I do, you need to try to position your face covering so it tries not to fog up your glasses, and that's a little tricky. You want to get over your nose, that's the first and foremost, and then your glasses over the top. The biggest thing, boys and girls, is to make sure that your face covering covers your nose and covers your mouth at all times. We will be doing mask breaks throughout the course of the day so that you'll have an opportunity to go outside, take your mask off, and get some fresh air. Boys and girls, it's really important that when you're supposed to keep your face covering on, you keep it on at all times. You really are only taking it off for your scheduled mask breaks and while you're eating lunch or breakfast. The other thing to know about for face coverings is that make sure that you're following the directions with them. You should not be like putting it down by your chin and think that you have it on because you don't. And you should never take it off unless it's one of those times that you are supposed to take it off. If you are warned about that up to 3 times, on the third time, you will probably have to go back to remote learning. So it's really important that you keep your face coverings on at all times when you're supposed to. The other part that's really important now at school that we didn't have like 10 months ago was things about social distancing. If you keep one arm length from your hand to your shoulder away from somebody, then you are in a minimum length of about 3 feet. And that's the minimum of what you should be. And that's what we're going to try to do, is to keep at least 3 feet when possible of social distance away from somebody. 6 feet is great. Yes. 3 feet is the minimum. So that's what we're trying to work towards, and make sure we keep 3 feet away from people. And then breakfast and lunch, you're going to be eating all of those in the classroom. So breakfast and lunch will be in the classroom. So it's really important to make sure you maintain a clean space. You'll be asked to either wash your hands or sanitize your hands before you eat something and after you eat something, whether it's a breakfast or lunch or even a snack if your teacher is doing a snack break. One other thing that's a little bit different this year is when we do our Pledge of Allegiance. Normally, we've always choose like different students from like different classes to kind of join us for our Pledge of Allegiance or for our pause expectations. This year, we're just going to be highlighting a class and using a recording of them for that week as our Pledge of Allegiance. Later on, we'll do some things with our pause expectations with certain groups. But for right now, our main recording that we will have is our Pledge of Allegiance. And our first class that we're going to be highlighting doing Pledge of Allegiance this week is Mr. Zaremski's first grade class. So at this time, with your face mask on, make sure you have it on, stand and make sure you face the flag in your room with your right hand over your heart. Great. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Z's first grade class. I appreciate that very much. All right, boys and girls, that concludes our first day of school announcements. So you guys have a wonderful day. I'll be popping in to see you guys. So just remember, face coverings on at all times, 3 feet away from fingers to shoulder at a minimum. And you guys have a wonderful day learning in your classes.